everything being pushed by the left, and a lot of it done through um, mainstream media, through Hollywood, and through Common Core is a lie. This article I am going to leave you guys a link for. I'm going to cover some points in it, but I think this is an article that every single person in America needs to read. It is a little bit lengthy, but it gets down into the details of Common Core that people are missing out on, and this is going to get real relevant to what's going on in the world right now real fast. And it's a little thing that most of America is unaware of. It's called the Common Core for Adults. And that's the big misconception that I think that everyone has seemed to have missed, is that Common Core is not just something that is going on in the schools. It is being perpetuated by Hollywood and by every piece of mainstream media, including huge chunks of the most popular parts of the internet, to brainwash Americans into changing their behavior, into changing their lifestyle, into changing their ideology, into changing their belief system. What this talks about in this article, I'm going to cover the highlights, but once again, you guys need to read this. I can't stress this enough. And what this gentleman here has dove into is what is very important for every American to understand. Common Core was basically bought and paid for by Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Okay, Bill and Melinda Gates are really big in doing stuff with the United Nations, and in the United Nations there's a thing called UNESCO, and it's basically it's part of the Agenda 21, Agenda 2030. It's part of the United Nations. It's their doctrine for the education plan for everyone on the planet, that they want this to be implemented in every country on the planet within a certain amount of time frame to meet what they call their sustainability. Okay, and the guy, this is important, the gentleman who actually came up with the whole universal education system for the planet, that he presented to the United Nations, which was accepted. This guy owned a publishing company called like Lucifer Books. And as soon as it got outed and people started realizing that the guy who had made this educational plan for the planet with the United Nations, when everybody found out that he had this thing called Lucifer Publishing or Lucifer Books, whatever it's called, he changed it from Lucifer to Lucas. Okay. Now, what he dives into in this article, okay, which is super important. One of the main, there's a couple of main components of Common Core education. And one of the things that they stress is that Common Core is not at all about education. Common Core is about changing people's minds, changing people's beliefs, changing people's behavior. Okay? And according to the United Nations program, which is started by a gentleman with the Lucifer Publishing Company, has decided in order for this program to be implemented in every country and work and meet their quote unquote sustainability goals, that Christianity has to be removed from the curriculum entirely. Okay? This is why, and he did such a brilliant quote today, but I'm going to go back to the Grendel 61 today. This is why they're teaching little boys that they're just broken little girls, right? This is why they can have Muslim prayer in schools, but they can't have God referenced in a Peanuts Christmas play at an elementary school. Okay. This is why a lot of these things are going on in this country, because it's not just implementation of Common Core to the children. This is an implementation of Common Core for the entire nation. And this is why Hillary Clinton and the left liberal agenda and even Black Lives Matter and all these other agencies that are funded by George Soros they are working down this Common Core for everybody, because they want to change your beliefs, they want to change your ideologies, they want to change your behavior. And as opposed to enslaving everyone by force, they feel like it would be much easier to just brainwash a big chunk of the planet. And they figure, we'll go ahead and do it to everybody, but if we can get the children, then all we have to do is wait a generation. And all the people that are opposed to what we were trying to do will already be brainwashed into doing what we want to do. All they got to do is wait. Which is interesting, because if you've watched the United Nations and you've seen Christiana Figueres, the one who keeps running around and saying we need to depopulate 80 to 90% of the planet right now, which is very interesting, because once again, her just being her shows the hypocrisies of the left, because this woman wants to depopulate the planet 80 to 90% right now, but nowhere when she goes around, when she was making these speeches, was she bothering to mention that she had children. Quite a conundrum indeed. And I want to show you some of the things that they are using to brainwash Americans with the Common Core, and not just the kids, but for the grown-ups too. Now, let's go through this. You have to bear with me for a second here. This is the one that I saw yesterday. Yahoo has been known for pushing their liberal agenda. I actually went and looked this morning, and every single article, except for like 3 or 4 about sports, was all pushing the left agenda. And I was like, wow, could this be any more biased? But this article right here, and I didn't show the actual article because the article didn't show you this. And what it's saying, and this actual whole story they did here was about the Dakota pipeline. And there's actually present day in 2016, we got Indians getting murdered and getting arms blown off and stuff. Even now, which you'd think it would be completely unheard of, because they're protesting this pipeline. But the important point that they wanted to push in this story is they wanted to push the narrative that because they're trying to say that the Pilgrims and the Indians never had dinner, that the whole thing is a lie, and that Thanksgiving was founded on a hate crime that was perpetuated by terrorists. So basically, even if that is true, which I don't know if it is, I gotta say, first and foremost, I have a pretty good percentage of Native American blood in my veins. Even if this is true, I know that I've got tons of ancestors that were wiped out by white people. Get the fuck over it. But this is the left thing. If anything slightly offensive, which is why everybody says I feel instead of I think, then they go and act with emotion instead of intellect. So they want you to cancel Thanksgiving because it's racist and it's based on a hate crime by terrorists. See, it takes something that may or may not have been bad, you turn it into something good, make a day where everybody's a little bit nicer to each other, and they want to turn it into something bad again. Isn't that just awesome? This is the kind of crap they're feeding you, and keep in mind, this whole story was supposed to be about what's going on with the pipeline protest, and they use it as a platform to try to call Thanksgiving something that was based on a hate crime perpetuated by terrorists. This is the kind of anchoring and sophisticated brainwashing they're doing to people, where they associate one word with the other, and even though they're not actually related to each other and there's no actual truth to it, millions of people will see this stuff and automatically believe it's true, and they've just anchored you to a lie. And this is how they're getting people to believe that up is down and left is right. This is Common Core for adults. Now, then of course we've got this alt-right group. Keep in mind, no one in the alternative media had any idea of who the hell this alt-right group was until about a month ago. But go figure, they go and they want to attach this alt-right group to Donald Trump, because a big people who were pushing for Donald Trump were part of the alternative media. So people hear alternative media and alt-right, then they can automatically anchor anybody who's an alternative media, or anybody who believes in the Constitution, or anybody who's a veteran, or anybody who's a Christian, or anybody who voted for Donald Trump, and they've automatically anchored them to alt-right by using alternative media to automatically attach it, and people believe that it's true when it's not. And so when they get this guy on TV saying Heil Trump and putting up Nazi salutes and all of this stuff, they get the masses to believe that everybody who voted for Trump is a white racist. Obviously, that's not true, because I don't believe that there was not one Hispanic, Asian, or black person who voted for Trump. I find that very unlikely, because I'm pretty sure he won by a landslide, because as much as they tried to rig that election and then he still won, it couldn't have been close. It must have been so overwhelmingly big, they just couldn't do it. And once again, this is your sophisticated form of anchoring a lie. Over here, once again, Kanye West, right? What does everybody know him for? He's known for putting up the Illuminati symbols in the Yeezy album, and the satanic looking stuff on stage, and him walking around with the cross, right? But the next thing you know, he does 3 songs, goes on a 20-minute rant. He's telling the people, don't believe what you read. Everybody's lying to you. I would have voted for Donald Trump. Y'all should believe in Donald Trump because he's telling y'all the truth. And announced himself for president in the next election. And the next thing you know, he cancels his tour, loses like $30-something million, and now they've, because he went into this whole thing, Now we have got Kanye West and this whole big satanic Illuminati thing that he's had going on for years, and he's connected to the Kardashians, so everybody knows who he is. And now all of a sudden, anybody connected to Kanye West, anybody connected to Trump is Satanist Illuminati, once again anchored. I still think that chances are good that he was paid by somebody to go off on that speech like that. I don't think he would have done that and sacrificed that much money myself unless somebody on the left was paying him to do it to further the liberal agenda. Now, according to Jason A., Kanye has been wrestling with demons and he's saved and he's actually trying to tell people the truth. And maybe he did get sabotaged for telling people the truth, or he could just be playing the other side once again to discredit anyone who believes in the same ideals that Trump does, more or less. And of course, when you start speaking the truth, you get blackballed from Hollywood, and everybody knows it. And the other example here is Dave Chappelle. And he came out telling the truth, telling people stuff like this. Our culture has accepted two huge lies. The first is that if you disagree with someone's lifestyle, you must fear or hate them. The second is that to love someone means you agree with everything they believe, say, or do. Both are nonsense. You don't have to compromise convictions to be compassionate. And look what happened to him. He was trying to preach to people the truth as well, and he got blackballed from Hollywood because they're just like we've heard about the secret society of conservatives in Hollywood, because if you speak up, it can very damn well end your career. Then, in the most shocking turn of events, which is the same kind of stuff that always happens, we've got this girl over here in the Miss Minnesota Miss USA contest, this Somalian American participating in the Miss USA pageant, wearing her certified terrorist headgear there, right? And they bump her all the way up to the top 15, but once again to the 15, she doesn't make it, and they're all celebrating what a great victory this is, and trying to get as many little girls as they can to start wanting to be a part of this lifestyle where you are being subjugated by the Muslim religion. Quite interesting indeed. But if that wasn't bad enough, as soon as that goes down and they're done brainwashing America with the Somalian Muslim, we have a shooting at Ohio State University. The Ohio State University. Sorry, I don't want to offend any true fans there. And the federal officials tell CBS Newsman shot and killed in the Ohio State attack has been tentatively identified as a man of Somali descent. A man of Somali descent. And I got $5 that says there's a good chance that this girl over here wearing her terrorist headgear is probably somehow connected to this dude who did the mass shooting. And they're trying to condition Americans to make you love people who want to blow us up. And as Dave Chappelle showed you over here, doing that is pretty stupid. And he tried to tell you that, and he got blackballed out of Hollywood. So, that's what this all goes back to. I'm going to leave a link to this article, but this is Common Core for adults. This isn't just going on in the schools. This is going on everywhere, okay? And the Common Core, their mantra, okay, they don't want to just, it's not about education. They want to change your beliefs. They want to change your ideology. They want to change your thinking. They want to change your habits. They want to change everything. And when they're discrediting discrediting everything that has to do with Donald Trump. This isn't just about discrediting Donald Trump. This isn't just about keeping Donald Trump out of the White House. This is about killing an ideology. This is about killing a belief system. This is about killing a way of life. Okay? They want everyone under socialist rule. They want everybody to be subservient slaves. They want a nation of workers, not a nation of thinkers. And they will brainwash you at all cost until they get what they want. So, hopefully this has helped open up you guys' eyes a little bit to the Common Core for adults that's going on right in front of your face every single day. Y'all take care.